Thank you, Big Country. Welcome in. This is milk glass from an antique plate. Really pretty stuff. I was napping this on my TikTok live, and they gave me a damn violation again. So just come over here to good old YouTube and finish it up. YouTube's better anyway. Thank you, Ghost Reaper. I finished this one up yesterday. It's green fiber optic glass and Osage. And then I also made a necklace. That is spiderweb obsidian. But I'm just trying to get more stuff made up for my website. I've got 165 USD on this one. And these do come with a sheath and a display stand. Shipping's included in the US and the price. But I do have international shipping. I've got these two on sale. I believe I've got $90 on this one. That is milliflora glass. Really neat stuff. I've got 55 on the necklace. And I've got this one on sale, and I forget how much it was. I think it might be 120 at this point. But you can find my website at arrowsniperarchery.com. I'm pretty good. How are you? I'm just trying to get some stuff made in my workshop so I can put it on my website. That blade is pretty much done, and I'll make a handle for that today. It might be worth more than 90, but no one's paying that for it. So I mean, I've got to get it out the door, because if I don't sell this stuff, I can't keep making it. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't understand how much time is involved in making these. They don't understand why they cost what they do. That's why I try to go live, so I can give you a better feel, you know, for what it takes to make one of these. Make a bong. Not sure how I would make a bong from flintnapping. It does take time. It takes me about 2 days to make one like this right here. I've got $165 on this. You're really not going to find something with this much detail in the flintnapping world for $165. include shipping, a leather sheath, and I'll just let people say what they want. If somebody is being a troll, just let them be a troll. Don't pay no mind to them. Am I lagging? Do you ship to London? Yes, I do. I do. Let's see what we got here. My website is arrowsniperarchery.com. You know what? I'll write it down. Again, I did have it wrote down on a piece of wood. I'll just write it down on this piece of wood here. There. That's my website, guys. arrowsniperarchery.com. If you Google search it and just put in Arrow Sniper Archery, it should be the first website that you see. So that is my website. Thank you. I've got a little piece of opalite here we can work on. This is opalite, and we'll make an arrowhead. I also have a necklace available. That's spiderweb obsidian. If anyone's interested in that. $55 for the necklace. That includes shipping. Well, thank you. That is a Cahokia point. It's actually got a notch in the top here as well. But I napped that one the other day. It's not hard. It's not hard to get into flint napping, but it's hard to learn how to flint nap. So, you know, you just got to be prepared to put a lot of time into learning how to do it. But as far as getting into it, it can be pretty simple. When I started flint napping, I used a deer antler, and I used old broken glass bottles and a piece of leather for my hand, and you need some kind of a braiding stone. But that's about it. And you can actually learn how to flint nap like that. Suitable. It wouldn't leave my... Oh, okay. Not screwing up the materials. No, you're not gonna. You're not gonna screw up the materials. how much for the 3 daggers. So I've got 165 on this one. That's green fiber optic glass and Osage. I've got 90 on this little milliflora dagger. And then I've also got this one on sale. And I believe I've got 120 on this one, which is nuts that no one has bought it. But I've lowered the prices multiple times. So if you guys are interested, right there's my website. I mean the connecting wires, and that's leather. This is leather cord. So that is jewelry wire, and then this is leather cord. A pink and blue dagger. I could make you a pink and blue dagger. I do commissions as well. If you guys want something custom, just go to my website and then scroll down and you can email me. Well, I cut up 130-pound deer with one of my knives, so I don't see why you couldn't cut up a chicken. What is the blade made of? So this is green fiber optic glass, that's milliflora glass, and that is cobalt blue glass. Hey, thank you for the subscription, or for subscribing. You can find it all right here. ArrowSniperArchery.com is my website. And it's pretty basic layout. My website's pretty simple, and the prices are right there on the front, the main screen. Yeah, thank you for all the likes, guys. I appreciate anything like that. I'm gonna start making more arrowhead necklaces though. I know a lot of people don't want to spend like $100 or $200 on a knife, so I think the necklaces are a good option. That band-aid's about pointless. So this is opalite. Are you asking if they're sharp? Because they are very sharp. What am I supposed to be answering? Let me see what you said. Sorry if I missed what you guys are, what all you were saying. So these are primitive style blades. They have the same exact cutting edge as any other flint knaps tool. These just happen to be an artsy version of a primitive knife. So the functionality is the same as an obsidian knife or as a flint knife. If I cut something in the woods with this, is this okay to use in the woods? That's totally dependent on what you want to do with it. Um, a lot of people like to display these as artwork, and I've skinned deer with them. So they're what I would call a functional piece of artwork. They're definitely sharp, and you want to be mindful of that and not get it and think that it's dull, because they are very sharp. But you could totally skin out a deer with this if you wanted to. I skinned a deer with one of mine during gun season. So these three handles right here are all Osage orange. And Osage is what I make my self bows out of. It's a very dense, beautiful hardwood, and these handles will darken over time. So they're sensitive to ultraviolet light, and over time they will get darker and darker, and that never stops happening. They'll always continue to get darker. Eventually they'll be like a blackish purple color. Like my self bows that I hunt with, the more I'm outside shooting with it, the darker that the wood gets. They all come with a sheath. They all come with a display stand. And typically the way I do that is I will use the same wood that I use on the handle for the display stand. Well, the blue one is actually on sale. I've got this one on sale right now. So if you guys are interested, right here is my website, arrowsniperarchery.com. Yeah, these handles will get darker. This is what Osage looks like when you first cut it. You can see why they call it Osage orange. And what I like to do is I don't use like a stain or a dye. I use this solution called vinegaroon. And you take vinegar and still wool, and the vinegar breaks down the still wool, and that mixture, when you put it on this wood, it draws the natural tannins in the wood up to the surface. And so what you're seeing here is the natural darkening process sped up versus just staining it. If that makes any sense. But yeah, that chemical reaction, it draws the tannins of this wood up to the surface and darkens it. And it kind of speeds up that darkening process, because not a lot of people like this this light orange color. I do personally, but most people like the darker version of it. Oh wow, for 20 years. Awesome, man. It breaks when the wind blows. It does not break when the wind blows. Matter of fact, the wind's blowing through my shop door right now. Oh, what do you know? None of them broke. Is there any way I can purchase these? Yes. arrowsniperarchery.com. Boom, 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 boom. And like I said, I'm always open for commissions. as well. So if there's something very specific you're looking for or that you want made, let's just say that you wanted like a 8 foot long spear, um, or you wanted an Aztec sword, or you seen a video of one of my art pieces and you'd like me to remake that piece, you can email me and I do commissions. I would slide the products up the website sign onto it. Okay. That's a good idea. Let's see here. This is actually not finished. I gotta make a handle for it today. How is that? Is that better? You can find all the prices on my website right here. I just don't want to flint nap over top of my stuff. Hold on. There. Can you handle that? I can provide the obsidian from Volcano. So you sell... Keep saying my freaking phone's rotating and it's not. Hold on. What the heck? Bro. I don't know how it's wanting me to rotate my phone, but there we go. There we go. Not gonna lie, those knives look friggin' sick. Well, thank you. I put a lot of time into these. Yo, did you make these? Yes, this is my artwork. I can show you a little bit of what I got here. So, this is a very popular material that I've sold a lot of. And sorry about the train. I have a train that goes right by my house. This is green fiber optic glass. And when you hold this up to like get some light behind it, it illuminates. So let's just say like you displayed this and you put a little LED light or something behind it, that would look badass. Let me show you what I mean. See how it'll do with this flashlight behind it. But it really illuminates with any kind of light behind it. Or you could even just set it in a window. I mean, that light is kind of bright, and it really shows you the detail of my flint napping with all the conchoidal fractures. But the fiber optic glass is really pretty stuff. And then I make these handles, like I said, most of the time out of wood, and this is Osage orange wood. I do sell them. Yes, I do. My website is right here. arrowsniperarchery.com. Using the Elder Scrolls somehow to make would definitely give you a boost. You know, on TikTok, what has happened is there's these like dark fantasy type videos, and I've never really been into dark fantasy, but everybody that comments on my stuff says it looks like dark fantasy type daggers. So I started kind of implementing the dark fantasy music, and people love it. But I did not intentionally make these to look like dark fantasy, but that's what people seem to relate with them, I guess. But yeah, I make these off the top of my head. I don't have no design planned out. I nap my blade, and then I make the handle just for each blade. So, this is milliflora glass. There's actually little flowers in the glass itself. Here's this blue one. But at this point in time, I've made and sold about 1,500 of these. What is my favorite? That's a hard question. Because, well, for one thing, I've made so many and I've sold so many that I forget a lot of the ones that I've made. About 5 years. How much is something like one of those cost? So typically a dagger this size anymore is $165. And that is US. And I always make a hand stitch a leather sheath for it, and it'll come with a display stand made out of the same wood as the handle, and then that's also shipping included. They can really cut, yes, but you have to remember that these are a primitive style blade. So if you was to take this blade and put it, haft it onto a deer antler, and go back 1,000 years ago, it would be doing the same exact thing. This is the same exact cutting edge that's been used since the discovery of flint napping. It's a serrated cutting edge. Now, what I make is a artistic, my own version of that, if that makes sense. So it's a primitive blade. It is a primitive functioning blade, but more artsy, if that makes any sense. Well, here's the thing. As far as breaking it, you would either have to drop it flat on its side on a rock, or use it as a pry bar. But so long as you are just cutting with it, the tensile strength through the cutting edge, like through the width of the blade where you're actually applying pressure, is much stronger than the flat side. So, like, I've skinned deer with these, and I've never had one break from just skinning a deer. So you have to be mindful that it is a primitive style knife. You cannot use and expect this to be like a steel knife, because that's not what it is. But that's my best way of explaining it. It's an artsy version of a primitive knife. And I would say the vast majority of people that buy my stuff, they buy it to display it. But it will definitely cut, and they are definitely sharp. What if it chips? Then I would just re-nap it. Let's say, for instance, like if I was going to use this to survive in the woods, and I got into a fight with a grizzly bear, for instance, and I stabbed him, and I hit a bone and the tip of this chipped off, then I would just re-nap it to a new tip. If these serrations dull, then I would just add new serrations to resharpen it. But if you guys, if you buy one of these and you break it, for whatever reason, As long as I think that it wasn't done, you know, irresponsibly, then I have no problem with you sending me the handle back and making you a new blade. It's not a big deal. Because I can remove, like say if you broke the blade, I can remove it from this handle, heat it up, and get all that out, and make a new blade for it. And I've done that before. Typically about 2 days. Because I make the blade first, and then I make the handle out of a block of wood. Yeah. This is what it would start out looking like, your handle. And then I use my vinegaroon solution, let it dry. Then I put a finish on it. And then I do all my gluing and hafting. So the green one is $165 US. That comes with a sheath, a display stand, and shipping included. And my website's right there. I do. Yes, I do. My website's right here. arrowsniperarchery.com. So if you guys are interested, feel free to go look at my website. Yes, I do. I use a very strong 2-part epoxy. And then the outer glue is a natural glue called pine pitch. You want to see them cut something? If I can find something to cut. I did have leather to demonstrate with, but I've cut it all into a bunch of little pieces. Oh, here is you want to see the green one cut, for instance? That was very minimal. I'm not applying no pressure to the blade. I'm just allowing it to cut. And you can see why our ancestors were able to easily field dress animals with these. So, you know, some people can make dull flint-knapped knives. Like, these can be very dull. But I have spent several years getting to where I can make a very, very sharp edge. Like, I have spent years to get to this point, to where they're this sharp. So, if you buy one of my knives, just know that even if it is very artsy looking and it looks harmless, they're very fucking sharp. Because I am not going to make a dull knife. But as you can see, these are not dull. And that's a clean cut for a flint-knapped blade. But I'm going to have to get me another bag of scrap leather to cut, because I don't really have anything left to cut. That wood is beautiful. I have actually made so many things out of Osage orange, it's insane. This wood right here is the best bow wood on the planet Earth. My hunting bow, I made it out of this wood, and I've made dozens of Osage bows, and it's phenomenal. Like, you can make a primitive bow that has the same speeds as a modern recurve with a single piece of this wood right here. No kind of backing, just a single piece of Osage. I've made lots of tool handles out of it. I'll show you. I've even got a I I am an Osage orange fanatic. But this was just an old axe head I had laying around, and I made this handle out of Osage. And it's gorgeous. But this stuff makes the strongest damn tool handle ever. This one I did about 5 years ago. You can see how dark it's getting. But this was my great-grandpa's sledgehammer. He was a blacksmith. And this did not have a handle on it. So I made an Osage handle for it. And I've beat the shit out of stuff with this, and this is not going to break. Osage is rot resistant. You can cut Osage and leave it outside for years, and it will not rot. Which just has some of my glue in it. Oh, but that is an Osage bowl. Now this I did not make. I found this at an antique store. But that is an Osage orange bowl. And you can see how dark that wood has gotten over the years. But these handles will do the same thing. They'll just keep getting darker and darker. But it's a really cool wood. But I cut all this wood down in Ohio myself, and then I dry it for like a couple of years before I'm able to make bows out of it, and then I make my handles out of it. Yeah, that is that's pine pitch glue. I've made a few bows out of black locust. Black locust will make a good bow, but the belly of the bow likes to, I'm trying to think of the word. I can't think of the word. It like crystallizes on the belly, and Osage does not do that. Like, if you want to make a bow out of Osage, so long as you know how to do it, you can make a bow that will last 100 years. What other colors do you do? So I use purple heartwood, eastern red cedar, which this is eastern red cedar right here, and that's probably what I'm going to use for this white blade that I made earlier today. I've used walnuts and hickory, all different kinds of colors of wood. Dude, that'd be so badass to have an Osage rocking chair. I've seen people make benches out of it. It's really pretty stuff. But I've got Osage all over the place. I really do. I've got a bunch of it. Are they sharp? Yes, they are. I actually showed one of them cutting earlier. Oh, shit. I've done all different colors of blades. I can't even name them all. Oh, to hand carve? Yeah, you'd want much softer wood than Osage. As far as like hand carving, you're gonna want I'm trying to think. You can carve walnut, like black walnut wood. Um, I'm not really into the like whittling. Is probably what you're talking about. Alder wood's really good. You know, just none of the hardwoods are gonna be good for hand carving. Orange is your favorite color? I get orange glass every now and then, but orange is like super, super rare, believe it or not. Orange and purple glass and red glass, they're pretty hard to get. What is your thoughts on using red oak? Red oak is fine for a beginner bow. Like if you wanted to make one out of a red oak board, but you got to put some kind of backing on it. It's definitely not a super good bow wood. If if you can get hickory, I would get hickory before I would use red oak. Hickory is much more forgiving, and obviously it's very tough. It's got that interwoven grain fiber, and hickory is going to be the best bet for your first bow. What's the worst wood to make a bow out of? Probably. Well, I've always heard if you could make a functioning bow out of a willow tree, that you was like a master bowyer because it's the worst. It's like the hardest wood to make a bow out of is willow. I've made a red oak bow. I have made a bow out of red oak. It'll work, but it's not the best bow wood. That's all I'm saying. You can make a bow out of just about any kind of wood, but the shittier the wood is, the wider you need to make it, the more set that it's going to take on. It's going to be less forgiving, like as far as mistakes in your tillering process. So that's why I say hickory, to me, is the best beginner bow wood. Yeah, balsa would be a very horrible bow wood. I've made bows out of very twisty pieces of Osage before. Oh yeah, balsa wood and basswood are very light and easy to carve. Thank you. Yeah, if you guys are interested in these, right here is my website. If you'd like to purchase a piece of my artwork, arrowsniperarchery.com. But yeah, I've made bows out of red oak. White oak is actually better. If you're going to use oak, use white oak rather than red oak. And if you can get Osage, don't let people tell you that Osage is not good for a beginner. It is more difficult because it has more knots and twist in the grain. But Osage, you've got to screw it up pretty bad to not make a functioning bow out of it. Because some of my very first bows that I ever made was out of Osage. You put designs in the blades too? What do you mean by designs? Are you talking about like the notching? Like this one has E-notches. No, I've never put engravings. I've never put engravings in the actual blade. I've put them in the handles. Like this has some scrolling in it. And then I always put my initials in my handle. Arrow Sniper. Like everything I make. Except for the necklace. How strong are the blades like the blue glass? Well, I mean, it's just ordinary glass. So it's strong as any other piece of glass. But like I showed you guys earlier, the tensile strength through the cutting edge is much stronger than the strength from the side of the blade. So if you was to actually use this for cutting, all of your pressure should be through the width of the blade. So it shouldn't be easy to break a piece of glass from the side. So my point is, if I tried to snap this blade on the flat side, it's still going to be pretty difficult to do that. I've never actually tried to do that, but to apply force to the side is going to much more likely to break it. But if I tried to like put gloves on and I tried to break this through the width of the blade, that's incredible amounts of tensile strength. So if you're just using this to press down and cut into the cutting edge, it's very strong. But I really don't have much laying around here to cut, or I'd show you. I really just don't. Hang on a second. Here, I got a piece of leather. I think what a lot of people forget is that these are a primitive style knife. So and I have skinned deer with these. They're very good at cutting hide. Yeah, I've honestly, and people that buy these, generally, the feedback is really good, and people, it's a lot different seeing them, I guess, in person than just on a camera. But once you like see it in person, most people get back a hold of me and are like, holy crap, man, this thing is beautiful in person. I've put a lot of time into these. I really have. You should see some of my first knives when I started making these compared to now. Like to get to here has taken me several years to come up with these styles and getting the blades to the profile that I do and the sharpness level. Yeah, don't smash it with a hammer. Don't drop it on a big rock. When I go hunting and I carry my obsidian knife, I carry it in a sheath, and I'm mindful that I don't like set on it and stuff like that. But what can you expect? It's a primitive style knife. It's like I have chose to hunt with a primitive bow because it's more challenging. I like the fact that more things can go wrong with my primitive bow, and it adds to the challenge. Just like some people like to hunt with a flintlock rifle. You can get moisture in the powder and the charge not set off and all that stuff. It's more challenging. You can't shoot it as far, but I like that type of stuff. If that was true, that they just break apart with the first strike, then how in the fuck did they kill woolly mammoths? How did they kill deer for thousands of years? And other very large game animals like buffaloes. And the first thing you're gonna say, your argument is, well, that's man-made modern material. Well, and you're right about that. But let's look at this. So this breaks in a conchoidal fracture. Okay, so high silica content materials break in a conchoidal fracture. This is volcanic glass called obsidian, and it breaks in conchoidal fractures because of its high silica content. This is natural, this is man-made, but they're both about 70% silica. They break immediately. Is that why I just skinned an entire deer out with one the other day? Would you like to see the video of that? Try actually using it. No problem. Happy? Old skinning is different. That's what it's for, dumbass. It's a primitive blade. It's a flint-napped blade. What do you think people was doing back then with these blades? They was skinning animals so they could have dinner. But oh, you said the first time I fucking touch something, it's just gonna shatter into pieces. Well, I sure as fuck wouldn't want to get stabbed by one. They are for sale. Right here is my website. Can you guys see that okay? Here, I'll scoot my little table up here. This is not for sale yet. I need to make a handle for it. However, everything right here is for sale. Oh, that's alright. I get lots of scammers. Thank you. Well, right now I've got 165 US on this green fiber optic dagger. I have this one marked down to 90, and this one I believe is around the 120-ish mark since I discounted it. And don't, to the hell with the trolls, guys. They can move on. Just let them blab. He told me that this would just break into a million pieces, and I just fucking cut a piece of leather like it was a razor blade, and he can't handle being put in his place. And now he wants to buy one. Go buy one right here. Can you not see the big website wrote down right here? These are glass. So man-made glass, these three, and then this one, this arrowhead necklace is obsidian. Can you sharpen the green one? Yeah, you can resharpen them. It's a pretty simple process, too. There's a lot of videos on it. You don't have to necessarily be a flint napper to resharpen them. And if you happen to break one of these and you email me, you can send me the handle and I'll make you a new blade. Dan, that's fairly good price. I don't skin, but I think that'd make one hell of a showpiece. Yeah, a lot of people do. I have one customer that has 55 of my daggers. He has 55 of my pieces. He put them all in display cases, and he's going to pass them on to his grandchildren. So you can collect these, display them, skin a buffalo with it. That's up to you. That's why I say that they are functioning pieces of art. But don't expect this to be like a steel blade. It is not. But, yeah, I feel like my prices are very reasonable considering the detail that I put into my work. Now, if you want to go around on the internet, you can look at other people's artwork, and you'll quickly see that I have these priced very well. That is lemonade water packets. Because I have not drank pop in 10 years. All I drink is water. And I basically live off of those little water packets. I do not work with uranium glass. I do not work with uranium glass, and you can probably guess why. It's uranium glass. I'm not trying to have to wear a whole hazmat suit to make a uranium blade. You're about right. 5 to 10 hours of work is about right. Yes, you could fillet a fish with them very easily. Yeah, and your mom's in my DMs. Get over it. Yeah, if I can skin a deer, with these, you can easily skin a fish. See, guys, trust me, I got experience with the trolls. I've been going live on TikTok for about 5 years. And I'll be honest with you, there's way more trolls on TikTok. I've gotten a lot of practice. So, you're not going to easily offend me. TikTok sucks. I mean, I gotta give TikTok credit that at one time TikTok was a lot better, and I made my initial following, like big following, from TikTok, but it's gotten to the point where it's pretty unbearable. Well, you don't have to give me $350 because this is not $350. Go to my website right here and that's where you can buy it. Shout outs from Pittsburgh area. Nice work, bro. Thank you, Logan. I appreciate that. I don't have any others to show right now. I've sold everything else I had, and I'm working on more every day. So, like, if you don't see something you like, just check back on my website in a day or two, because I'm always posting new ones. And you can always email me. If you want something custom made, you can email me through my website. East Kentucky in the chat. I'm actually in southeastern Ohio. I am about 30 miles from Ashland, Kentucky. Well, I appreciate that. I wish I could get more out of them. I feel like deep down that I should be getting more out of them because I know what goes into them. But the problem is, not a lot of people understand what actually goes into these. And, I've got to be able to sell them for me to continue being able to make them. A lot of my money just, from making these goes right back into material to make more of them. So if you guys ever want to leave me a tip, you can always leave me a tip on my PayPal. $165 on this one. $165. How the fuck am I a scammer? Like, where are you even getting that I am a scammer? I've literally sold... Well, I'm probably getting close to 1,500 knives and daggers and artwork that I've sold. So I've got 165 US on this one, 90 on the milliflora glass, and then I've got this one on sale, and I believe it's at 120 now, because I've discounted this one a couple of times because no one is buying it. And then I've got a necklace. This is spiderweb obsidian, and I've got 55 on it. Is there any way I can block these people? Remove. Yeah, that's starting to get pretty annoying. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we're starting to get some trolls in here, aren't we? So anyway, guys, this is what I have. If you're interested, right here's my website. So you can check them out. But I'm going to have to get lunch. I'm just sitting here trying to read these comments. I'm not worried about it. Let them talk shit. It's whatever. Hey, do you do custom work? If someone asks you for something specific. Yeah, so if you want something custom made, I do commissions. And if you go to my website and you scroll down to the very bottom, you can email me. And I can make whatever you want me to make. I've had people that's bought 4 of the same daggers before. Or I've made an Aztec sword. I've made spears. I can make, as long as I can get the material. I've made tomahawks. I just sold a tomahawk the other day. Dude, shut the fuck up, man. Jesus. Is that what these people do, for, like, for a hobby? Just to talk shit? I might have cereal for lunch. I'm gonna have deer chili. We made some deer chili. What the hell, man? Alright, I'm gonna get off here. This shit's getting weird. Anyway, guys, right here's my website if you want to check my stuff out. Or you can email me. Oh man, it's so good. Deer chili is my favorite. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to y'all later.